Well, howdy, and welcome to Monday's edition of Today's Bread. Now, this week's discussion on the series Messages on the Old Testament is History is God's Story. Now, today's portion is God Creates the Earth. Our scripture reference is Genesis 1, verses 1 through 3. Now, people have been asking and wondering if God created the earth in Genesis 1:1, why does verse 2 picture it as formless and void? To accommodate the theory of evolution, some people have theorized a large gap of time between verses 1 and 2. But the simplest explanation is that the verse describes a stage of creation, something short of the finished work seen later in the chapter. Now, please know that the Bible doesn't explain every detail. It records exactly all that is required of God for us to know. Regardless of interpretation, the verse offers the perfect prelude to what verse 3 describes. Here, God speaks, and from the darkness comes light. In the verses that follow, the same pattern repeats itself. God speaks, and creation springs into being. It is important for us to believe that God could simply speak and bring the wonders of creation into existence. Many people who discount the record of creation found in the opening verses of Genesis cannot fathom that any being could create so much out of nothing. Now, yet this is what these first three verses actually teach. Anyone who has a hard time believing this will also find difficulty in believing many of the other things presented in the scripture. Now, in contrast, those who accept the creation account in the Bible do not find it difficult to believe that God can do anything he chooses, including things people might consider impossible. Thank you, and I pray that you've enjoyed today's edition of Fresh Daily Bread. Now, church isn't a place to go to, it's a family you belong to. So come be a part of God's family. Monday's prayer focus is God's blessings on Israel and the United States. Pray for God to bless Israel with peace and safety, and for a return to biblical principles in the governments of Israel and the United States. Now remember, Jesus is coming back soon. And now, here's Monday's blessing. I bless you with the knowledge that the unfailing love of the Lord, it never ends.